Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build the Stackable farming tower, which is a redesign of my Stackable wheat farm. But since then more things have been added to the game, so as well as working with wheat, this now works with netherwarts, potatoes and carrots as well. So this is a resource and space efficient design, as you can see here. Because it's a stackable farm, it means it takes up vertical space rather than ground space. And you can see here that not a lot of resources go into building it as well. So this is the single design on the right here, and on the left we have a double design as well. The single design has 23 farmable spaces per layer, and each layer is 7 blocks wide, 7 blocks deep and 3 blocks tall. The redstone will activate all of the layers at the same time, so one button to control the whole farm, and the sky is the limit. So basically you can build this all the way up to the sky limit of the game. So the double design over here, it has 42 farmable spaces per layer, and each layer is 11 blocks wide, 7 blocks deep and 3 blocks tall, with the exception of this redstone that comes around the front here. So like all modern farms, these are also equipped with a hopper and a chest at the bottom to automatically pick up the items, but let me show you this in action. So we're going to press this button here and you'll see that the water on each of the layers will all get activated at the same time, and then all of the drops are going to flow all the way down to the bottom, where they'll land around the front area here, as you can see, or they'll land directly on the hopper, and the items will slowly go into the chest in front of them. So one thing you may want to do is just modify this to have a couple more hoppers around here, or possibly use minecart hoppers as well to pick these items up, because there are a lot of them and they'll take a while to get into the hopper and into the chest. So we press the button again to deactivate the water on each of the layers, and then replanting is quite simple. Just go up the ladder, drop into the water, hold down space and you'll pop up onto the level, and then you can walk around and plant down all of the different crops that you want to grow. So each layer of the farm has a dispenser in the corner. That creates a water source block directly in front of it, which is why we don't have farmland there, because it will destroy any crops that are planted, and then the water is able to flow all the way over to the corner here where we have this water block. Now the reason that we have that there is so that all of the soil stays hydrated on this layer. And then over on this side we have a glass block in the wall and a torch as well, and both of those provide light to the entire farm. So technically this is not necessary because we have the torch. However, if you wanted your crops to just grow at night for whatever reason, you could remove the torch and there'd be enough sunlight for all of the crops to grow. So now I'm going to show you how to build the stackable farming tower, and to do this you will need these resources. So for each layer of your farm you will need 3 ladders, 24 dirt blocks, 42 building blocks, a sign, a bucket of water, a dispenser, a torch and a block of glass. And for the very first layer on your tower you will need a chest, a hopper, a button and 10 redstone. And then for every 2 layers you're going to need 3 building blocks and 3 redstone torches, and that's just to transmit the signal upwards. So on each layer this is going to be arranged slightly differently. So the first layer is going to be 7 blocks by 7 blocks, and you're just going to put the hopper and the chest in the corner like this, and then from there we can start building the tower. So directly above the hopper is where you want your water source block to go. So you can see there is a block on one side of it, a block over here that has a ladder on it which is going to hold back the water, and then on the other side we have all of this dirt. So this is actually a 5 by 5 grid, except we have water in this corner, and over in this corner we just have another block. So for the next layer of the farm we want to place blocks around the outside of that farming area in the middle where the dirt is. So we've got blocks going all the way across this side, all the way across this side, with the exception of this block which is a dispenser facing inwards. Then we have 2 blocks, a block of glass, another 2 blocks, and blocks down this side as well, and then there's a ladder on the edge of that block there. And then for the layer after that it's basically the same thing all over again. We have blocks going around the outside. You can see there's one above the dispenser there. On the side of this block here we have a torch, then we have blocks coming back across the front again, a ladder on the side of this block here, and we want to put a sign on that block there. So the reason that we have that sign is so it holds up the water that's going to be on the layer above it. So you can see here it's holding up this water, and then on the last layer of your tower you wouldn't need a sign up the top there. But you can see here I built another layer on top, so this is basically one layer of your farm, and then when you finish deciding how many layers you want to have and you finish building them, that's when you're going to add the redstone. So we're going to put a button on the front and then lead some redstone around the back like this. And then in this corner here we're going to place a block with a torch above it, a block, a torch above it, and continue doing this till you reach the top of your tower. So depending on how far up your tower goes, you're just going to continue like this. Now you'll see for each layer that it's slightly different. This first one has 2 blocks and 1 torch, and then the second layer has 2 torches and 1 block. But once you've done that and you finish putting all the torches and blocks in place, that's when you want to put the water inside each of the dispensers, and then your farm will be ready to use. So building the double design of the farm is pretty much the same thing. The layout is basically mirrored with 1 or 2 minor changes, and to build one layer of this you will need these resources. We have 3 ladders, 43 dirt blocks, 54 building blocks, 2 dispensers, 2 buckets of water, 2 torches, 2 glass, and a fence gate instead of a sign. As well as that, we have 23 redstone and a button to wire it up. So the reason that we have a fence gate instead of a sign is because there's nowhere to place the sign to hold up the water, because we can't place it on the side of the ladder box in front of it. So the way that you would place this is by putting a block underneath, then you would place down your fence gate, open it so you could walk through it, and then you would remove the block underneath, and then that fence gate would hold up the water that would be on the next layer above it. And so the wiring is slightly different as well. You want to put a button at the front here and go around the side like this over to the back, and that's where your block with your redstone torch would be. And then at the front here you just put a couple of extra wires around the front like that so it reaches the same button. And so at the back here it's the same thing as before. You're just going to place down block, torch, going all the way up to the top, and you do that in both corners, so you activate both sets of dispensers. And when you finish placing down your blocks and your torches, that's when you put the water in the dispensers. So that's how you build the stackable farming towers, both the single and the double design. And there is a world download in the description box for both of these in the form of a schematic if you want to import either one of them into your world. And so if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps support the channel and it is greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.